Hello, everybody. I hope you all are doing well. My name is Mrunal, and I welcome you all to the very first episode of You Talk. So, the topic of our podcast today is women in movies, and to discuss that, I'm joined by these two very special guests. They are aspiring actors and pioneers of the global film industry. So, for starters, thank you so much for doing this with me. It really means a lot. And my very first question to you is, tell us a little more about yourself. Why did you dream of becoming an actor? And was there ever a time you thought twice before entering the film industry because you are a woman?
Thank you, for, Ronald, for having me. Firstly, so my name is Shreya, and we just recently met. But I'm from India, and I've been staying in Singapore for basically my whole life.
Hmm.
And I fell in love with the concept of acting when I was 18. Like it was a little late, but I think okay. The things I've been acting since I was 13, but it never really hit me until one day. I remember I was just doing my work, and my dad was like, "Why don't you become an actress?" And I was like, like that could work. And so that's literally just took that one statement, and then I was hooked into this. As for whether I ever considered, like thought twice before entering the industry, I mean, of course, if you look at the way sometimes women are portrayed in films and stuff, it takes a lot of courage, and there are a lot of challenges that you have to face when you put yourself out there, and when the whole world is going to be able to see you. And definitely I have thought about all those struggles that I might potentially face in the future, but I wouldn't say that it has ever deterred me from wanting to move forward in this industry. So yeah.
Awesome. Gaya?
Oh, well, first of all, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. And yeah, okay. My name is Gayatri, first of all. I am from Kerala, although I've been in Singapore all my life. And like you said, I'm an aspiring actor. I think you can call me an aspiring actor. I just have this deeply rooted passion for this art form and this industry in general. And for as long as I can remember, really, the earliest sort of instance of acting in my life would be when I was 3. And my favorite movie was The Lion King, and I would watch it on repeat. And I would always act out the scenes. Like I would pretend like I was the lion, I would be fighting with my pillows. And I was just mesmerized by the fact that a movie, a cartoon, could really take me away from reality. And just, it's just magical. And ever since then, I was like, I need to be a part of this somehow. And ever since then, I've just been trying my best to get in there. Although I have had my fair share of like restrictions and like the first instance of when I got sort of negative feedback for this was when I did finally own up to it and I said, you know what, acting is what I want to do. And I was hit with like a series of negative feedbacks from like family members and relatives, and they really portrayed this whole industry as a very, very bad thing. Like, oh, you're a woman, they're going to take advantage of you, that you're going to have to do a lot of dirty things, you got to get your hands dirty if you want to go to the top. I mean, that's how all these women are on the top. Like, and it was so sad because majority of those comments came from women in my family. And it always, I don't know, it upset me that they were saying the same thing about other women. But I don't know, I think it just empowered me to prove them wrong in that sense. Yeah, that's it about me.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm so glad that you guys followed your heart and decided to pursue your dreams. It's really amazing and inspiring to a lot of younger generation women out there who wish to become actors like you. So kudos to you guys. Seriously. So my second question is, as you all know, we are here to speak on the position of women in the film industry and if we are likely to see a future with more female cast and crew oozing through the film industry. So, unfortunately, in the real world, women always have to work twice as hard for half as much. The culture has unknowingly and knowingly been always tilted towards men, and very little has been done to change that. So, why do you all think that even in the 21st century, we have such few women ruling the film industry? And could you all comment on why misogyny and patriarchy is still growing stronger in the media world, with a role of a woman being limited to just looking good and being beautiful and being desirable enough for a man?
Hmm. Personally, I don't think it's just a problem that we have now. It's been going on for eons, right? And
True.
back in the days, it was masculine equals men, feminine equals women. So we're sort of just categorized into these two boxes, and then everything else relating to us would be under these two boxes. So if if there's a job of a mechanic, it would go to a man. Like a woman is just a no-go zone, you know? So even when it comes to the film industry, like on and off screen, the jobs that are there, it's like the cooler, macho, more stronger roles would be for the male or the masculine side of the society, whereas the more girly, quote unquote girly or quote unquote feminine things would be for the women. And we've not tried to change that for decades. And when we're trying to do that now, the first instinct that humans have is to go, danger, 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 we can't do that. Like, you can't get out of that box. You're supposed to be in that box, which is why it still is prevalent in the 21st century. And every time someone tries to speak up or someone tries to go against those norms, they're put down because we're so conditioned into thinking that we're supposed to be in this little cardboard box of ours.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. Shreya?
Right. For me, honestly, as Gaia mentioned, this has been going on for eons, and I'm not going to deny the fact that definitely it has become better over the years. There are women who get more recognition, who get more equality when they demand for it. That's sad. I mean, they do have to demand for it, but there are feminist movie makers and actors out there who truly believe that women deserve the standing and the respect that they are worthy of. But at
Hmm.
the same time, there's so much evidence that you can't ignore. For example, just last year, the highest paid actor got over 80 million in a year, as compared to the highest paid actress got like about over 40 million. I mean, I'm not bringing their skill into the picture, but why the disparity? Like, why is it so much? It's almost twice of what the woman got, as compared to what the man got. And it's just like, the more you try to find out why this exists, the more heartbreaking what you read um like seems to be. It's just
Hmm.
and this evidence is just scattered all over. Like, if you just look at movie nominations, Oscar, BAFTA, and everything over the, I don't know, the last 5-10 years, most of these films, I guess it would be safe to say almost 9 out of 10 of these films have male leads in
Yep.
them as compared to the female leads. And a lot of these films, I think about 15, if I don't remember wrongly, they were all male casts.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so it's just like, why can't there be more all women casts? That's just a question I'm putting out there. I mean, are you telling me that it can't be that there aren't enough stories out there that women can't, portray, right? You have Saving Private Ryan. I mean, that was a classic, right? It was so good.
Yeah.
But why can't we have something that good for women? I'm not saying they don't exist, but we just need more representation, and it needs to be out there more right now in the world. And just the very ratio of women to men being represented in the film industry is frankly alarming.
Hmm.
I think Emma Watson once said in something that I read she went out for a work dinner and it was 7 men and her. That's just an example, right? Like of how much disparity there is. And I mean, it must have hit her harder given, what she stands for and what she truly believes in and what she's worked towards all these years. And she also mentioned that throughout her career, all the producers that she's worked with, directors, they're mainly men. And she has been given the gender equality that, she was given on set, but she had to ask for it. She had to demand for it. And I think the worst part of this is it's not just within the industry itself. Another thing that fuels this is media. Like how powerful media is, right? I mean, film is one of the biggest forms of media. And she said that her co-actors and the people she works with treat her better as compared to how the media makes her feel. So the stuff that they say about a woman makes her feel isolated, lonely, attacked, called on. Like if you read some headlines, it's just like, oh, let's say this actress has like done this. But the way that headline is written, it's like the main focus of it is the fact that it's the woman who's made that achievement and not the achievement itself. And even though it's such a big news, it just shoots the person down because like you're making the focus of this my gender and not my achievement. So it feels like whatever you work towards, I'm not saying like, it takes away the entire triumph or euphoria of the moment, but it definitely dampens your spirit. Yeah, like why does gender have to be such a big thing when it comes to doing something in the industry?
Yeah, absolutely. And all of this boils down to the very fact that we've been allowing the society to sort of impose this thing on us.
Yeah, correct.
For years. And I mean, you can't change something overnight, especially something as big as this with like 8 billion people on the planet. You can't be changing. And most of the people that sort of don't like anyone fighting for their equality or whatnot would be, I don't know, the older generation. Correct me if I'm wrong, because they're the ones who lived through that society where, man, masculine, women, feminine, like you can't cross over, you can't do both. And they've lived through that. They're conditioned, they're brainwashed into thinking you're either A or B, and anything else that happens which contradicts A and B, it's wrong. And as long as people think that, you're not gonna get 100% freedom.
Right, and just to, sorry, continue.
Yeah, like, I mean, we could be fighting. Everyone's fighting right now. Women are fighting all over the world for, representation, more chances, more jobs, equality at workplace, home, everything. But again, there's going to be at least one person that pulls them down or shuts them down.
Yeah.
And it defeats the entire purpose. And most of the times, it could be, let's say there are 10 people shutting me down, 7 of them are going to be guys, 3 would be women, which makes it even worse because we're supposed to be supporting each other. But no, these women are conditioned to thinking that they're supposed to be sitting inside their little bubble, which society and media has created for them. And they don't want to. They can't think outside of that. They cannot at this point.
I agree.
Everything else is like unknown territory for them.
Yeah, and just to add on to what Gaia said previously, because she said that, when she first talked about getting into acting, she got a lot of negativity because people assume that, oh, you have to, do stuff that's not exactly moral to get to the top.
Yep.
And the fact that, as she said, it's women that's saying that. And that affects the women within the industry itself. Because, even though now there are more women speaking for themselves and speaking up and demanding equal rights, there are still a lot of women who lack the confidence to speak what they want to say. And it brings back to the point, like Gaia's point, where they say, like, they're allowing this to happen, because they feel helpless. How can they possibly say what they want to say in a male-dominated society?
Absolutely.
You can't even blame them. I mean, it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage to be a woman in any industry in this society. And so in the film industry where, the stakes are much higher, yeah, it's just there's a lot more at stake. So they just sort of in a way let it happen to them. They just tolerate it. They struggle with it internally, but it's like they're still struggling to find their own voice, even though as actresses they do an impeccable job on screen, but they're most uncomfortable being themselves. And I think
Yeah.
that's really sad because they use acting, their job, as sort of a getaway
Yeah.
so that they don't have to face the harsh realities of their own
I
lives.
agree. I feel like the film industry is very misunderstood, not only in Hollywood, but largely in India as well. Like what happened with Sushant Singh Rajput recently has made people hate Bollywood. Like, I have had people come up to me and ask me how many people do I know of who do drugs. And it just makes me so uncomfortable because I don't know what to say. I know of people who don't do drugs, who don't drink alcohol, who don't smoke, and are still doing pretty well in the film industry. I feel like the society thinks movies are just about that. They don't understand how difficult it is to make a film, and about the pay gaps as well that Shreya mentioned. I was watching Anushka Sharma's interview recently, in which she said that even if it's a woman centric film, and even if the cast only has women, they don't get paid as much as the male lead of another film. And even if there's a film in which there's both male and female cast, they are made to stay at different hotels. The female lead is made to stay at a cheaper hotel as compared to the male lead. So there's disparity in that as well. They aren't given as good hotels as the male lead. So it's sad, and I don't wish to ruin the mood, but I am going to read out the statistics of number of women that are in both Hollywood and Bollywood. So this is going to be very sad and disturbing. I'm sorry. But women accounted for 12% of directors working on the top 100 grossing films in 2019 in Hollywood. Catherine Bigelow is the only woman to ever win the Academy Award for Best Director. Only 5 women have ever been nominated. In 2018 Mudbound, Rachel Morrison became the first ever woman to be nominated, not even win, for the Academy Award for Cinematography. And in Bollywood, the percentage is even worse. I used to feel that Bollywood is better because of the women centric feminist films coming out recently, but there are only about 8% of female directors in the film industry and about 12% of OTT female directors. And as per the cast, 88% of the speaking role is given to male in a trailer. So there's disparity in that as well. And I feel that women have been given these tags in relation to the work that they can do. People assume that women can only become makeup artists, fashion designers, and production designers, even though there are only 8% of production designers in Bollywood, because um, feminine thing is supposed to be about making things look aesthetic. So I personally feel that women can do anything that they wish to do, regardless of what their gender is. So, what are your views on this?
Absolutely. What you said is 100% right. Like women can do anything and everything that they set their mind to. In fact, anyone out there can be what they want to be. Anyone can do what they want to do as long as
Mhm.
they're 100% dedicated and determined to do it. But all the statistics that you just put out there, it's very disheartening, but it kind of makes sense in the society because like I don't know if you've noticed the sort of backlash that women get when they stand up for themselves, like through media or like in society itself amongst peer groups. Like there's this sort of notion that if there is a film that is women centric or like directed by women or like there's an all female cast, all female crew, it's this sort of underlying notion that the male has been sort of suppressed for this female to come up. And
Yep.
there's, yeah, you get what I mean. Like you have to suppress the male for the female to come up. So then they don't watch that particular movie because they're like, oh yeah, the male's gonna get slapped, the male's gonna get like shunned, and then the woman's gonna be the savior. That's just boring. That's just like the fake feminism shit or whatnot. But like, okay, I'm just gonna say three words. I feel like that would resonate with everyone, not all women. Okay, not everyone needs to do that. We can come up when I say we want representation in this industry on screen or off screen, we just say that we want to be seen.
Mhm.
We just want to be
Yeah.
heard. I don't care if you get like $1 million. I just want to get the same thing. I
Yeah.
don't want to bash you to get that. Because in that sense, I didn't gain anything because I'm doing the same thing that men have been doing to women all over the world for years. But that's that sort of negative notion that really sort of, it doesn't help the whole I need female representation notion, because everyone thinks that it's a very negative thing and you
Yeah.
don't want them to come up.
Yeah, for sure. Before I get to Shreya, I just want to add something to that. I feel like the term feminism is very misunderstood. People
Absolutely.
assume that when, like, for example, every time I say I'm a feminist, people think I hate men. I have had a few of my guy friends tell me that why is it that you're so stern upon female rights? I mean, women are getting to speak, women are getting to wear what they want. It's okay. Why are you hating on men so much? And I just want to scream to the world that being a feminist doesn't mean that I hate men. It doesn't mean that I want to eradicate men. It doesn't mean I want to be paid more than a man. I just want basic fundamental rights. So it's just so annoying that this term is so misunderstood. And being a feminist is beneficial for men as well. It's not only beneficial for women, because I think masculinity is also very misrepresented in movies. It's about having abs, it's about being muscular, it's about protecting the family, it's about not crying at all or being sensitive on screen, and also being the bread earners of the family. So feminism is going to help both men and women, and not just help give advantages to women and eradicate men from the society.
Absolutely. But this like negative notion that's just there in everyone's brain, I don't even know how or why, but this negative notion just stops them from, everything that feminism and women stand for, because we're trying to make this world a better place. We're trying our level best, especially in the industry. It like amplifies because of the sort of worldwide reach of this particular industry. And the word spreads from one person to another, and it's just a domino effect, and it's never going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so for me, actually, I truly believe a woman can do anything that she wants to do. Um, of course, I'm not going to discount the fact that we are genetically built in different ways, such that like men can do some jobs better than us, in the sense that, let's say, they're more physically equipped to do some jobs better than us. And as
Yeah.
for us, let's say jobs which require more emotional intelligence or something, that's something that's more suited to us. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that we cannot do the jobs that they can do. And it doesn't mean that if we try, we're going to fail at them. There are women who are out there who are like world-class athletes. And that's not just a men thing. They're healthier than a lot of men that I know in my life. And that's through pure hard work and just dedication to what they love and their craft. And as you said, your definition of feminism, right? So that's what I was going to talk about actually. For me, what feminism is not rising above men. It's just being on the same pedestal as them. If you're getting paid like $5, let's say you're a man, you're getting paid $5, even if that's lesser, even if that's little, but if I'm doing the same job as you, the literal same job, don't give me $2. Okay? There is no reason, no excuse for you to give me $2 for the same thing that I've done. That is all I'm saying. I just want to be seen, I just want to be heard, and I want to be recognized for my efforts, because it's not like I'm slacking off while the man is like doing all the work. I am doing the work as well. And that's what I'm talking about when I say recognition. And I'm pretty sure even men can relate to this. Let's say you're at work and you and your colleague have been like working on the same project for super long, but at the end of the day, your boss only praises your colleague. I mean, you're going to feel robbed, right? And gender has nothing to do with this. We just feel robbed because you're not recognizing our efforts. And what's worse is that you're putting it on something we had no say in.
Absolutely.
We didn't ask to be born girls. We
Yeah.
didn't ask to go through all the physical struggles that we do go through. I'm not, I mean, honestly, I understand that, I would never use biology as a plus point over men. I would never be like, oh, can you get pregnant? If you can't, don't talk. I would not be like that. But at the same time, it's like, I am, like, if I have the ability to be a mom, and if I am a mom and still doing the same job as you, like while being pregnant, so many women have done
Yeah.
that. Emily Blunt, what's her name? Gal Gadot while shooting Wonder Woman. Okay, like
Mhm.
I just, I mean, you can't, nobody can deny, nobody in their right mind can deny that it takes so much more effort
Yeah.
physically. And the fact that you can't even tell that I'm struggling with this, in my personal life, but because I'm not letting it show on screen, I think that in itself deserves a lot more respect. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure, for sure. Even Anushka Sharma, I really love her. That's why I'm mentioning her a lot in this podcast. She was working when she got pregnant. And in fact, just another thing that I want to mention, every time in the Bollywood film industry or the Indian film industry, a woman gets married, her pregnancy is the only thing that the media waits for. And
Right.
it's so annoying because she's doing work, she's married, like people are waiting for Deepika Padukone to get pregnant. And I'm like, but she wants to work. Give her time. She can have a baby like 5 years later. Even Priyanka Chopra, for that matter, when she got married at the age of 33 or 34,
34. 34.
34 if I'm not wrong. Yeah, when she got married, people were like saying how can she get married to a guy who is so much more younger than who she is, and how can she get pregnant at this age? Is she going to stop working? So I feel like women are also judged a lot more about their choices. Like a guy can get married and have kids whenever he wants, but a woman should get married by the end of her 20s, and she should have kid as soon as she gets married. So there is gender inequality in the way men and women are perceived by the media as well.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
So I also wanted to talk about my own experience with misogyny, and it's nothing big. It's just a very small thing, but I feel like it explains the reason why men and women are treated the way they are on set or in the society in general. So I was working on a film set, I think it was 2 years back, and we were a crew of about 5 to 6 people. And I just happened to notice that this one man was constantly scratching his crotch. And it's not that it was just me who saw it, everybody on set saw it, but nobody said anything about it. And I was like, this man is constantly doing this action, and it's just something that cannot be ignored. But when it comes to women, they cannot even have their underwear lining being seen on their jeans, or they cannot have their bra strap being shown. And during periods, when a sanitary pad gets stuck in between their thighs, they cannot even, try to adjust it in front of everybody, because people are just going to ogle at her and have their eyes on her, or even point it out for that matter. So that made me feel that men can always get away with anything and everything they want to do, with no repercussions and ramifications that come with it. But women always have the fear of being judged. So, have you all ever received any misogynistic comments or noticed something unusual where you were treated differently because you are a woman? And also, have you ever felt like you cannot do something on set because you are a woman?
Oh, well,
Mine
this.
actually, sorry.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go
Okay, we
first.
have all the time in the world.
Okay, mine actually happened pretty recently. I think sometime last year. Um, it was, I remember I was the only female in this cast,
Okay.
right? And there were like 5 men in this cast.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we were all friends. And after the shoot, we were joking. And this one guy says to me, because it was time to clean up the set and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he says to me, "You do it, you're a woman." And he was joking, but it wasn't funny then, Yeah, I was like, I just stared at him and he backed off. He was like, "Oh, okay, I'm
When
sorry."
was his
Like,
funeral?
I wish I'd killed him, right? No, I'm kidding. No, but I practically did with my eyes. And good thing he had the common sense to back off. He was like, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that." I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, well, not funny. I mean, you gotta, get new joke material, I guess." um, but yeah, even though it was, a joke, like intended as a joke, and I'm usually easygoing with jokes, but that one was, especially with so much, I would say, testosterone in the room, right? He said that in front of 5 other men, or like 4 other men, and it just hit because there was no other girl there. I was the only one, and so in that kind of setting, I guess it's even more amplified. The way you would feel about it as compared to, if there was any other girl there. But it's not like I
Yeah.
needed backing up. It's just that he needed some common sense knocked into him. But yeah, I'm glad that happened. No, but like even in other situations, right? It's just, I don't know. There's so many people out there who are just like, it just goes back to, even women saying that you can't do this because you're a woman. Like, okay, my own relatives, okay, some of them who are like pretty close, and then I tell them I want to be an actress, and they're like, I don't think that's a good career for, women. You're not supposed to be doing this. It's not right. Why don't you just get a good job and like find a husband and settle
Yeah.
down?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and what do you mean a good job? Like this is a good job. What are
Yeah.
you talking about? Like, right? And at the same time, when I talk about, being an actress to them, they're like, "Do you know how hard it is to get to the top?" Like, wow, thanks for the encouragement before I even start trying. Thanks for shooting me down. Like, would you have said this to your son? I doubt it. I doubt you would have said that. That's all I'm saying. Like, if you said this to your son, I wouldn't be that mad. I mean, I'm not condoning shooting anybody down, but at least it would be less blatant in my face. So yeah, I just
Yeah.
feel that this misogyny and disparity is just everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of it boils down to the fact that women were never seen as humans, basic humans. Like, women are supposed to be the homemakers. They're supposed to be the ones that give birth. They're supposed to be the ones that cook food, clean up, and do embroidery or something, or read books and just shut up and not do anything. And they're supposed to be there to satisfy everyone else in her life except for her.
Yeah.
So when it comes to doing something for yourself, you can't do it because one, society doesn't allow you, and two, your own brain doesn't allow you to do it anymore.
Because you've just been trained that way. So you yourself start to believe that, oh, this isn't for me. This is not something I can do. So I mean, and that's the worst kind of you know, how, like the opposite of encouragement, right? I can't remember the word, but yeah, that's the worst kind of thing that you can do to yourself, because it's not just society shutting you down, it's your own spirit that's not even out there. You can't even support yourself.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is all the stuff that Gaia just said, cooking, cleaning, giving birth. I don't understand why they're not considered the superior tasks, because where would you be without those? Can you imagine your wife doesn't do the work? You walk into a house where your dog has just peed on the carpet, your kid has thrown up and is just laying there, and your laundry is not done, and everything, your food is not cooked. I'm just saying, like, where would you be without all these tasks done?
Exactly. And women aren't even getting paid for it.
Exactly. And we're doing it, and they're doing it out of goodwill, out of actual love. It's not even like, oh, I'm obligated to do this. But I'm pretty sure all our mothers cook for us out of actual love. Can you imagine how much of a like magnanimous and generous heart you need to be like that? Like, it's insane. It's crazy. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. For sure. I agree. Yeah, about that, I was watching an interview yesterday. It was again Film Companion's interview, and it was she was interviewing the cast and crew of Bombay Begums, crew including just the director. And it's a female director and it's a female cast, it's a female lead. And the director said that I made my women feel powerful by saying that you wash your own underwear even when you are at the top. And I was like, that's
Beautiful.
so true.
That's
so true. Only a female director can say that.
Yeah.
So to all those people watching this, all the production companies who are watching this podcast, please contact us and hire us for any future films.
But, shout out.
Yes. Lastly, unfortunately, we have come to an end, but I would just like to ask you all. Women, as you know, sometimes tend to be women's worst enemies because we have been conditioned to think that all that we need to do is look desirable enough to be called beautiful by a man. So, what would you like to do in support for women to make their representation or their stance better in the film industry? I feel that you guys are already inspiring a lot of girls out there to dream of wanting to become actors. So, what else do you think can be done to, give more power to women? Because I feel that I'm a little confused. I don't know if fewer women are being hired because they just want men to be at the top, or fewer women are being hired because not many women are there in the film industry. So, what do you think about this?
It's definitely a combination of both of those things. One, we're in a very this is a very male dominant industry, and the world in general is run by old men who are going to think about nothing but their kind. So it's going to be harder for us to get to any sort of level that we want, whether it's at home, it's in our professional life or personal life, wherever it may be. We need to fight twice as much as they do. And also, because of this particular thing that's relevant in the society, women don't want to try to, challenge themselves or challenge society. It's either because they don't feel like they can do it because they're going to get shut down if they try, or because they just can't imagine a life outside of their societal norms. And a combination of that just leads to where we are today, where there are some women fighting and then some women just not doing anything because they can't or they won't. And the struggle is just gonna keep happening. We're gonna be fighting for years and years and years until someday it's gonna change. And I feel like we can change that because this industry in particular has so much influence over the entire world. One Hollywood movie, so many people watch it, right?
Yep.
Right. And I feel like if we have more female characters, female, like, I don't know what the word is, prominence. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Female prominence in movies, which doesn't mean female dominant. We don't want dominance. We want prominence, right? Female prominent, female prominent characters, female prominent stories, and off screen as well. A lot more directors, cinematographers, script writers, you name it, whatever. If we keep fighting, we keep, coming up in this industry, I feel like a lot more people would see it. And movie after movie after movie, it's our future generations are going to be watching this. If anything, we can change them. We can't change the old people. And if a child is watching a movie where there's a male lead, and there's an equally important female lead, she's going to know that she's as important in society as that male is. And so then she can dream of becoming someone in society. And so we just have to keep reinforcing that through media and movies and other platforms.
That was amazing. Yes. It's like you read our mind.
For me, I'm just gonna start speaking from my point of view first, because as a South Indian girl who is acting, I think I can speak from both sides of the spectrum, because I'm only acting because I fight for it. I fight for it every single day. Guy and I, we have curfews to live to, and you know how long shoots can take. But still, despite that, we make the best of our situations, and we go out there and we do what we have to do, because that's the passion and dedication we have towards this field. So apart from passion and dedication, you need courage. Courage is very important in terms of fighting for yourself. And I can't say that's enough, because if I didn't have courage, I know that I wouldn't even be where I am right now. And I wouldn't have, stepped up to even talk to my parents or tell them, or, despite their initial negative thoughts of like, oh, film industry, I've had to combat that. I've had to slowly shred, break the walls down that they had regarding the mindset, related to the film industry. And the struggle is still going on, but it's been worth it. And there is nothing so far that I regret, and there's nothing I would redo or take back. And I will not stop fighting to, live the dream that I want to live. And at the same time, I am not going to blame those who do not have the courage to speak up, because there's a lot more involved, when it comes to going for what you want. Family background is a very, very important factor. When, your family determines most of what you do, and you can't fight against that, it's not something that's, just easy to, get out of. Sometimes my friends are like, why didn't you just talk to your dad? Like I didn't try. It isn't easy, okay? It's a step-by-step process. And some people just do not have that courage. And as much as I wish they would, it's not something that, you can just throw a casual comment over, like, why don't you try? You think they want to be in that situation? You think girls want to be suppressed? Even those who are, super obedient and everything, I'm pretty sure they have thoughts for themselves within their heads. I'm pretty sure when they lay in their beds at night staring at their ceilings, they have dreams. They want to go out there and do something. It's just that they don't have the platform, they don't have the support, especially of their loved ones, that will empower them, give them the confidence to go out there and achieve what they want to do. And this doesn't only apply in the film industry, it applies everywhere, but mostly in the film industry, because as I said, how women are portrayed in, certain situations. And like, it takes a lot to, as a South Indian girl, to convince your parents to actually willingly let you go out there and do this job. But it's an everyday struggle, and it's
Yeah.
something that I will continue fighting for. And I feel that, if anyone does see this, and one day, like when I get to where I truly want to be, if girls know my story, I think that I would have achieved something if they feel like,
Yeah.
if even one of them is inspired, if even
Absolutely.
one of them just gets up the courage and next day be like, Dad, this is what I want to do. That's an achievement,
Yeah.
right? And that's what I'm going to be, fighting for all this time.
Absolutely. And can you imagine if there's a girl watching and she's like, oh my God, I want to be like Shreya. And then there's like 10 other Shreyas. And like, just imagine, it's just a
Yeah.
magical moment.
Yeah, it's
Like,
beautiful.
Yeah.
we just have to get there. And we're
Exactly.
gonna constantly try to get there.
Hmm.
Yeah, to all those girls out there who, dream of wanting to be in the industry, please follow your dreams. Please, please, please don't let family or societal pressure put you down, or stop you from wanting to become who you want to become. And thank you so much, guys, for doing this with me. It really means a lot. You guys said some really inspiring and amazing things, and I'm sure that you guys are going to make it big in the industry. And thank you so much. Can you please clap before we say
Hey, round of applause.
yes?
Thank you for having us, Mrunal. It was a pleasure
Yeah.
to be here to just speak our minds, because this is not
Yeah,
something we do every day or we can do every day. And to be able to
yeah,
get this off our chest in such a influential platform, it's
mm,
it's amazing.
Yeah,
thank
before
you.
this, Guy and I were actually freaking out. We were like, oh wait, we haven't prepared for this. But little did we know that when it actually came to it, we'd have so much to say.
Right.
Yeah,
It would just come out in a flow. I don't know if that's sad, or I mean the fact that we have such strong things to say about something that's so prevalent in society. It shows that even we have faced it in our lives, right? And countless women
yeah,
out there are facing this in their lives. And so, if you can use this influential platform to just bring this message out to whoever is out there who could even use a single word of encouragement, that's all we need.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It is amazing in a way, and also sad that we didn't have to think twice before saying what we were saying, because we were so sure about the things that we went through and the stuff that we were made to feel because we are of a different gender. But like you said, Shreya, I hope that we can inspire even one person out there to come in this industry, because movies are beautiful, and I can assure you guys that you will have an amazing time if you dream of wanting to become a filmmaker or even an actress for that matter. So thank you so much, and keep watching You Talk for more such podcasts. Bye guys.
I